to come to this Friday night leadership class. How many of you got a lot of value out of tonight's class? Right? How many of you wish you had quite a few more people here? Right? All we got to do is schedule PBRs. Keep scheduling PBRs week after week. Get them customer qualified. Get them to do their first PBR. Welcome them to this Friday night leadership. Your business will explode. Does everybody follow me? Now, guys, one key tip here is why do we say it's all due to the training and support of ACN and maybe not the person that you're working with? Can we agree whoever you're working with, the RD, is giving you the support? Probably with you in the PBRs. Probably doing all the confirmation calls. See, here's what I want to share with you. We're one team here, right? We're the Rockstar team, and we're under one company, ACN. See, we get all our training for ACN. Some of you may not be working directly with a Juan Pedro, or maybe a Ricardo Cordero, or working with a Diash Ahmed, right? But can we agree that if we all get to be committed and come to every single Friday night leadership and every Saturday morning training, you will get the same skill set, the same training that all the great leaders did. Can we agree with that statement? Now, guys, I think that part of my training is done. Was this pretty helpful? Yes. Fantastic. So, guys, I'm going to get myself out of the way because, I mean, there's not enough words for me to say of the privilege and the honor of mine to be here in the front of the room with the individual that I'm about to introduce to you today. This individual has been the #1 senior vice president in all of ACN for 11 consecutive years and counting. He is the creator of the system that we all train every single week. He's the one that put and mapped out for every one of us to have that same success. I mean, how many are excited that the individual that created this system is with us here today? Has helped thousands and thousands of families, not only here in the United States, guys, but across the globe. I've been very fortunate to travel with him to a whole different country, right? He's sought after in all different countries to come out and train, guys, but he has chosen to be here with us today. Guys, please give a warm New York, and everybody stand up, and let's welcome top Senior Vice President, Central Assembly Member, Mr. Patrick Lee.
Being in business with all of you here tonight. You know, this is leadership. You guys are leaders, you're champions. You showed up here this evening, and I want to start by giving you a round of applause for being here tonight. Congratulations. You know, this is what successful people do. They train. And you know, you being here separated yourself from other people. First of which, for those of you that are new, welcome, congratulations. Great to see some new promotions. Great to see some faces here. MD, great to have you here as well. It's a big name in this area, you know that. You walk in with a name like MD, boy, big things are expected. With that being said, I want to start by letting you know how proud I am of all of you. You know, guys, I couldn't wait to come to New York. When I get a chance to spend time with your leadership team, you know, Mara brought a phenomenal conversation to the regional director and above meeting earlier. Both her and Rick are on their regional vice president run. Getting a chance to listen to them talk, getting a chance to listen to people like Ruman, you know, regional vice president, Diosh, regional vice president. You're among some amazing individuals here tonight. You know, Juan, who stood up here, talked about, you know, what do you do with the testimonial and recognition. You know, I had the pleasure of going to Colombia with Juan. Juan went into that country and exploded that country. I'm talking about giving people hope in a country that they didn't have a lot of hope in. There wasn't a lot to get excited about. The people that he had a chance to impact not only have had success and broke what's called regional directors in Colombia, but now those individuals are getting paid on U.S. customers because of the fact that they started a team in Colombia that now is back in the United States. So, you know, when you listen to individuals like you heard here this evening, you're hearing from the best of the best. You know, I do these presentations all over America, and let me tell you something. People do not have what you have here in New York, where you have a Jeannie Asante, and you have leaders around you that are willing to help you, that are willing to encourage you. How many of us agree this is not normal? This is not normal. Listen, most people, when they get involved in our business, how many of us had to deal with our family? How many of us, the people that we were doing it for, were the people that were the hardest at what we were doing? And if you're fortunate tonight, if your family encouraged you, you are very fortunate. Most people, when they get involved in ACN, their biggest landmine, what takes most people out, is their family. They start a business, they get excited, they go home, and their family takes a bucket of cold water and throws it in their face. And they don't do it because they don't love them, it's because they don't know how to get rich. And when you're talking about getting rich to people that don't understand to get rich, how many of us agree that's a foreign idea? Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't go to training. I had to fight with my family about going to training. And the reason I did is because they were not rich-minded. They saw this as another thing. Does that make sense? They didn't realize I was building wealth just like you here today. I'm not talking about wealth in our lifetime. I'm talking about generational wealth. How many of us here want to have generational wealth? How many of us here want to dramatically impact people in our lives and families outside of our own? So the first thing you got to remember is that when people get involved, they don't get this type of environment usually from home. Then the second major challenge for most people is their friends. I didn't know what a friend was until I got involved in ACN. You know what I found, friends? Here. How many of us wish we had friends like our uplines?
Yeah.
Like, how many of us would have been further in life if our friends were like, you can do anything. I believe in you. I see more than you see in yourself. How many of us here feel that we would have been much better off in life if we had encouragers as friends? I got involved in ACN. I had strangers coming out of the woodwork saying, you can do it. You can do it. Really? You think I can do it? Oh, absolutely, you can do it. And so, you know, that's another major obstacle that people have to go through when they get involved in our opportunity. And the third one is society. How many of us agree society does not promote business ownership? Educational system, 13,000 hours, kindergarten, 12th grade. When did they teach you the tax system? When did they teach you the tax system?
They don't.
They don't. Public education is public incarceration, is what it is. It's keeping people down from being successful. It's not designed for people to get ahead. It's designed for people to get in line. Yes or no?
Yes.
And then the final thing is if you can make it through all of those things, yes or no, how many of us had to sidestep some family? How many had to sidestep some friends? Go sideways when we talk about society, yes or no? And then to come into this and say, can I do it? That's the final question all of you have to ask yourself is, can I do it? And I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. How do I know that? Because I've watched people all around you have success in this. Now, all of us have a learning curve. Yes or no?
Yes.
We all have a learning. Here's the problem with business. You ready? When you start out, you got to go down before you go up. How many of us figured that out? You get involved in ACN, you go straight down first, yes or no?
Yes.
Like making a list, like, oh my God, like I don't know anybody. You live in New York, right or wrong? And then all of a sudden it's like, what do I say? Who do I call? I don't want to say the wrong things. How many of us had to go through that mental roller coaster, getting involved? That's called totally normal. All of you have already been through it. You made it to leadership. Now it's about leading an army of people. And it's about you seeing yourself senior vice president. So my job here tonight is to talk about the system. We started out with booking home meetings. How many of you here tonight have more than 2 home meetings in your team by a show of hands? Who has more than 2 home meetings in your team by a show of hands? Put up real high. Now look around. More than 2 home meetings, 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 more than 2 home meetings. Now, I'm a senior vice president. If I have 1 home meeting, and all of you that raised your hand have more than 1 home meeting, who's going to get more people in the business? Me with 1 or you with more than 1? The person with more than 1. So it has nothing to do with the position. Has nothing to do with the success. It has everything to do with who gets in front of more people. Folks, let me tell you something. My brother Mike and I were signed up by somebody in this business that made no money when they signed us up. What does that mean? That means senior vice presidents can be signed up by people that haven't made any money in ACN. What does that mean? That means senior vice presidents can be signed up by people that have not making any money in ACN. So that whole thinking of, I got to make a whole bunch of money to get a whole bunch of people in is absolutely nonsense. So the fact is, whoever has the most home meetings makes the most money. Now when people come into ACN, the first thing we want to do is we want to sign them up for a home meeting. Why? We got to launch their business. That's why we take time to write down every single meeting in the local area, because this tells us the temperature of the market. Now, if I'm sitting here tonight and I have people that I haven't called or people that I want to show ACN to, I pick them up in my car and I take them to one of those meetings. Why do I take them to a meeting? Number one, can we agree we want them to see it the right way? If they don't see it in a living room, they won't duplicate a living room. They have to see the process. You know, I've done business with NFL athletes, people that I've had to say, put them in your living room. If they don't see it in the living room, they won't duplicate a living room if they don't see a living room, yes or no? So take them and put them in your car, take them over to the living room, let them see it the right way. Second thing, you got to know the marketing plan. You got to know how the money's made. Why? ACN's a game. If you play the game according to their rules, you can get rich. Does that make sense? They're giving us $600 for 10 energy bills. What does that mean? They're giving us $600 for 10 energy bills. Can we agree that's a lot of money? That somebody can start out, hey, you're not interested in ACN for whatever the reason, you got electric and gas, you want to feed a kid, would you do me a huge favor? Can I count on your support? And sign them up for energy. I three-way them in with Con Edison and get their number right over the phone. I three-way them in with the National Grid right on the phone. Hey, hold on 1 second. You need your account number. Hold on 1 second. Hold on for a customer. Get your account number. Does that help everybody? Why? Because that builds your residual. Does that make sense? And they're going to pay you up front to build your residual. Second thing, when we talk about the compensation plan, what makes this different than anything else out there? Residual income. How can I recruit everybody? How can I talk to everybody? Because a doctor doesn't make residual income. A lawyer doesn't make residual income. An accountant doesn't make residual income. An engineer doesn't make residual income. So can we agree, everybody you're meeting with, guess what they don't have? Residual income. So it's like, well, who should I talk to?
Everyone.
Everyone. Why? Because everybody wants residual income. I didn't even know it existed. I came to this presentation, they talked about making money over and over again, and they explained the wealthiest human beings. Bill Gates makes residual income. Oprah Winfrey makes residual income. If you study the wealthiest people on planet Earth, guess what they all have in common? Residual income. Guess what we need to have everybody get? Residual income. So when you understand the compensation plan, it'll keep you up at night. It'll keep you up at night. Like when you truly understand it, it will keep you up at night. Imagine it. Just imagine this for 1 second. Every bill in your house was taken care of with a residual check.
Wow.
Imagine. I'm not talking about millions of dollars. I'm talking about you never had to worry about money because money was coming in and money was going out and money never stopped coming in. How would life be different for you? How many of us think things would start being fun? Like, I don't know, traffic. Right? How many of you are like, oh, crazy people? Right or wrong? Everybody all upset? Yes or no? Right or wrong? How many of you see people in line? Go ahead. They gotta make residual income. Go ahead. Keep going. Hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Yes or no? This is about creating residual income for your family. That once you understand residual income, you're going to do everything in your power to go get it. Okay? That's why we teach you the compensation plan. Why? Because now you know for every well-run home meeting, you're going to sign up one IBO. Now, for some of you here tonight, you might do a home meeting and nobody signs up. I've done home meetings where 5 people sign up. It's called an average. So if you want 5 IBOs to come into your team next week, you need how many PBRs?
5.
5. How many of us like to know what the numbers are before we even go forward? So that's why we teach you the compensation plan. Then testimonial. Why do we want you in the living room? Because we know you can stand up and validate what they just heard somebody say. The testimonial validates. Think about this. How many of you ever watched infomercials? How many of you, like when you're, late at night, right? I don't know how old some of you are, but how many of you remember Carlton Sheets?
Drunk.
Right? How many of us remember? Right or wrong? For some of you, he was like a real estate guy.
Yeah.
You too, right? Real estate all over. And then, you're sitting there like, I don't know about real estate, it's 3 in the morning, right or wrong, you know what I mean? I don't know. But then they go, let's talk to some people. Hi, my name's Bob. I drive a truck. I made $57,000 last year because of Carlton Sheets' real estate program. Hi, my name's Mary. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I made $113,000 with $114,000 with Carl. After the 12th testimonial, what did we do?
Dial the number.
It wasn't Carlton Sheets that taught us to do it. It was the testimonials. Folks, that's what a testimonial does. It validates. So when you come to living room, yes, we want you to say more things. Yes, you got a lot to offer. Yes, you're full of great information, but that's not your job. Does that make sense? The testimonial's job is just to validate what was just said. See, there's three things everybody asks when they see a meeting. First question is, what is it? Can we agree when they come? We don't want them to know what it is. Why? Because we're going to mess it all up if we tell them before they come, look, yes or no. You're going to scare people off. If somebody called me up and said, do you want to sell cell phones, internet, new technology, ID protection, I don't know about any of those things. I still haven't figured out how to program a VCR. Right? So can we agree, once you start talking technical to someone like me, I'm thinking what? I was the C student in school. Right? You too? Good. We're going to get rich. Right? So I was a C student in school. So the point is that when they come to the living room, we don't want to get in, hey, what is it, what is it, why? Because we don't want them to think about what it is before they get there. I want them to come to the living room and go, I don't even know why I'm here. Good, 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 right? The video tells them what it is. The 1 through 8 presentation tells them what it is, yes or no? The second question everybody has is, does it work? This Ruben guy's pretty sharp. Oh, this Juan Pietro guy, he's pretty sharp. This Rojo guy, he's pretty sharp. How do I know it works for other people? That's when I go, can you give a testimony? Can you give a testimony? Hi, my name's Zach, I'm a college student, right? And once they hear other people say, then it works. That's all. I got 3 reps, 10 customers. You know what that tells them in the living room? It works. That's all they need to hear. Now, the third question everybody has is, can I do it? 84% of all people lack self-belief. What does that mean? 8 out of 10 people in that living room, you see more than them than they see in themselves. They lack self-belief. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do something like that. Yes or no? So here's what you want to know. When they come into that living room, this is what all of us need to learn, because if we can do this efficiently, we can have success. Now, this is so important that you understand that I want you to be present with this conversation. Meeting's over. Your job is to find people that were shaking their head, taking notes, paying attention. Now, here's my feeling. Nobody goes to a living room to hear about making money unless they want to make money. Nobody goes to a car dealership unless they want to
buy a car.
That's right. So the fact that they're there tells me what? They want to do it. Now, they could have said no at the invite. They could have said yes at the invite, not shown up. They could have said yes at the invite, canceled last minute. They could have said yes at the invite, came to the living room, video's over, kids are home alone, and ran out. If they're still sitting there when the presentation's over, here's what they're saying. I like it, but I don't know if I can do it. That's all they're saying. I have yet to find one human being on planet Earth that goes, oh, residual income must be horrible. Every month the check comes, oh my God, that's terrible. I've never had anyone say that to me. So everybody wants it. The question is, can I do it? Here's what you need to do. Take that clipboard, you put it on the back. There's 3 things to be on a clipboard. The first thing is the 1 through 8 presentation. Every month we redo it on the Wealth Institute, so it has the bonus on there, so you don't have to worry what the bonus is. It's already going to be on the 1 through 8 presentation sheet. The second thing you're going to have on there is an IBO agreement. Photocopy both sides. Analytical people will not sign up if you don't have the back side, I promise you. And the third thing you have on there is a Saturday trainings flyer, or whatever night you do a meeting, do a training, right? So why do we have the Saturday training flyer at the end? Is that's what we write on. So I say, are you ready to get started? Well, I got a couple questions. No problem. Can I show you something? Yeah. Okay, great. Can you go out and get 3 services? Yes. Sure. Well, let's talk about our services. I see you have a cell phone in your pocket. You probably have electricity at your house. You probably have internet. You might even have natural gas. You might even have a home security. You might even have credit card processing. Between you and everyone you know, can you get 3 services? Yes. Yes. Now we don't have to talk about the services anymore. What did they just say? Yes. Yes. Okay, great. Can you invite some people over to your house? Let us come over, share the opportunity with you. Let them go out and get a couple customers just like you did. Now you're in the money. You're ready to get started. You're in the profit. You've already made money. You're ready to get started. Well, I don't know. I don't do anything without my wife. I don't do anything without research. I don't do anything without praying. I don't do anything without asking everybody I know if it's a good idea. How many of us heard every one of those? Okay, great, no problem. Can I show you something? Tonight, this is Mary's meeting. Now, Mary, tonight, is going to sign up her first 4 independent representatives. Person 1, person 2, person 3, and person 4. Once Mary has 4 people on her team, Mary's going to bring in the 5th person, but we're going to put the 5th person right here. That 5th person is going to go underneath the 1st person. And then when Mary brings in the 6th person, we're going to put it right here, right under the 2nd person. And when Mary brings in the next person, the 7th is going to go here, and the 8th person is going to go here. Now, which one would you rather be? 1, 2, 3, 4? Or would you like to be 5, 6, 7, or 8?
1.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You want to be 1? Okay. How do I spell your last name?
Still have more questions.
And that's what you need to do. Now, 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, can we agree you're sharing with them the importance of getting involved tonight? I didn't know what to do for my first 7 years in ACN. At the end of the presentation, we sat around and talked about what we liked best about it. Yeah, well, what about the rates? Rates are great. How do you get a customer? Oh, we're going to teach you on Saturday. And I used to wait at the class on Saturday for people to show up, and guess what? Nobody showed up. But when I started signing people up in the living room doing this, people showed up on Saturday. Why did they show up on Saturday? Because they paid $499. Does that make sense? People that sign up show up. If they don't sign up, they don't
Show up.
Right, your job is to sign them up. Now, it takes people multiple times for something to sink in their head. So you as an organization, when I go in and talk to Ruben and I say, Ruben, you ready to get started? I go through this room, he's like, I don't know, I'm not sure. And I go, Michael, Eric, listen, this is Ruben. Would you talk to Ruben? And you need to switch and let everybody talk to the same person. And guess what everybody's doing? The same thing. When they hear the same thing by 3 separate people, by the 3rd person, they're going to say,
Yes.
yes. First person, I don't know, I'm not sure. No problem. Quit trying to sell and get somebody else in there. If we're all saying the same thing. Hey, did Patrick show you how simple this is? Great. Did Patrick explain that you need to go out initially and get 3 services? Did he explain that part? Did he explain your services? Do you think you could do that? Did he explain you can invite some people into your house and we come over and do the same thing we just did for this person and we're going to help you make money? Did he explain that? You ready to get started? No. Did he explain how important tonight is? Did he explain how the first 4 people go here and 5, 6, 7, and 8? Did he explain that part to you? Were you ready to get started? No? Okay, hold on. Zach, this is Bob, right? Do you mind? And let Zach go. And if you all do the same thing, guess what happens? Multiple people saying this. Remember, they're conditioned. We're fighting their mental conditioning. The first thing everybody's conditioned to do is procrastinate. How do I know that? How many have been to McDonald's? They've seen McDonald's their entire life. How many of you watch people look at the sign of McDonald's? Right or wrong? How many of you been to McDonald's, look at people and they're... It's the same thing for 30 years, right? Like, what changed? For 30, right or wrong? Because their decision muscle is weak. Does that make sense? They don't make
Decisions.
So their decision muscle is
Weak.
You're saying, I don't know. I'm not sure. Should I do it? Great. So the fact that we're all doing and saying the same thing gets people on your side. Are you ready to get started? I got some questions. No problem. Can I show you something? No matter what they say, you say, can I show you something? How much money can I save on electric? That's a great question. Can I show you something? Do you do business in China? That's a great question. Can I show you something? My brother's interested. He lives in South Carolina. That's great. Can I show you something? No matter what they say, guess what you say?
Can I
Can I show you something? And whoever asks the question controls the conversation. So no matter what their question, I don't want to do it. Great, can I show you something? I don't have time for this. Great, can I show you something? I don't have $500. Great, can I show you something? No matter what they're saying, your job is to say, great, can I show you something? Now, how many of you feel pretty comfortable with what I just did? How many of you feel pretty comfortable? Right? Like you could come up and trade it. Like I just walk randomly through the audience and say, okay, how many of you feel like that comfortable? Okay, great. Those of you that raise your hand, let's all take a minute practice. Here's why. Because when you practice, you get the bad out of your way here tonight. So on Saturday when we're in a living room and on Sunday when we're in a living room, we're all good. And let me tell you the teams that win, the teams that practice. That's who wins. You know who wins? The teams that practice. So this is our time to practice. This is our locker room time. This is our practice time. So I want you to get with somebody. How many of you, if you can do if you can do the close really well, could you stand up? Anybody can do it real well. Like I'm talking, you're really good at it. Stand on up, real good at it. Real good, real good. Okay. Those of you that are standing up, come out to the aisles. Come out to the aisles and find somebody that's sitting down and let's help them practice, all right? So everybody standing up, turn around, go find someone, get on in there, go.